What up, reader fam? Today I'm going to be talking about why I suck at following through with series. This is a real problem that I have and I just really wanted to talk about it. I mostly wanted to put my thoughts out there because I wanted to feel less alone. I'm hoping that a lot of you guys will relate to this video and that I will not feel so alone. I can't be the only person in the world who sucks at following through with book series. It's just not possible. I've realized recently that I am currently in between a butt ton of book series. Like a ridiculous amount of series. I might have to make a video on my current unfinished and finished series, but I also don't know if I'll make that video because it might stress me out with the amount of unfinished series that I have. But let me know down below if that's something you want to see. So let's talk about why I suck at book series. First up, the commitment. The commitment alone is what scares me off sometimes. And I know that even if I start a series, it doesn't mean I'm committed to that series. If I read book one, I don't have to read the entire series. But at the same time, if I'm going to read book one, it feels like the start of a relationship. So if I read book one and I end up hating it, then I have to have a breakup with the series. But then you're still curious as to what could have happened, what the fate of the relationship could have been. And there's kind of that empty feeling there, you know? Like you didn't fully get closure with it. But you also just can't waste your time because time is valuable. And you need to spend it on things that you will for sure enjoy. Next up is the fact that I am constantly needing something new and I get tired of the same thing over and over again. This is a problem that I have with a lot of series and it's why I can't binge read series. I usually have to space it out over time, which this is honestly why I can read one book in the series and then wait another year until the release of the next book without crying myself to sleep at night because I need the next book in the series. Even though sometimes I do get caught up in the feeling of, I need this book right now, my life is so empty without it. I've realized that sometimes it's good to take a break, even if that plot twist at the end of book 3 is keeping me up at night. I just get tired of the same old thing. Whether that be the same world, the same magic system, the same characters. So often I just get tired of being in the same series for long periods of time. This is also kind of why I have the bad habit of starting a book and then getting in the middle of it and then putting it aside for another book because I get tired of the book that I'm reading. I eventually get back to it, but I'll get in the middle of a book and then I'll move on to something else. It's a really bad habit I've developed. I'm working on it. Next is getting too attached to the characters. This is an actual thing that holds me back from reading series sometimes because I'll get too attached to the characters and then the author's like, let's just mess this character up. I want to make sure I cause my readers lots of heartache. Let me just throw them into an ocean made of their own tears. And of course, I always get attached to the characters that get messed up. It can be a lot for your mental state to constantly see your faves being run over by a car made out of crisis. Next is the fear of the ending. This is definitely one that always holds me back. I'll get to like the 5th book in the series and the last book is the 6th book, but I will resist reading the 6th book because I'm nervous of how it's going to end. Even though sometimes I'm like, let's get this book series over with already, there's also times where I'm like, do I really want this to end? Do I really want to see where my faves end up? What if they die? What if everyone dies? But then it's also the fear of how is the author going to wrap this up? Will it be a heart-wrenching, captivating, wild, insanity, epic finale, or will it be mediocre at best? Next is the fact that sometimes I just forget things that have happened in the series. This one happens to me quite often, I will admit. Which is why I wish I could just marathon series. It would help me out a lot, because I wouldn't constantly be forgetting things. But I just can't because apparently I just suck. But a lot of times I'll be reading like the 4th book in the series, and I realize that I've forgotten a whole lot of things that have happened throughout the series. And so the things that are happening in the book that I'm reading isn't really making a lot of sense. And I feel lost. But I usually just persevere and keep reading and hope for the best. I don't know if that's the best method, but it's the one I use. Lastly is reading a book in the series and realizing that you've just grown out of love with it. This is the worst, but it's happened to me. You've just completely fallen out of love with the series. It's always sad when you're reading like the 3rd, 4th, or 5th in the series, and you're struck with the realization that you just don't care anymore. The characters annoy you, the world isn't as enchanting as it used to be, and the plot's just not going in the direction you want it to. The absolute worst. You've invested all this time and energy into the series and you just don't love it anymore. This has happened to me a few times now and I hate it every time. I wish it didn't happen. I wish I could make myself stay invested in the story because I still want to know what happens, but I just don't have it in me to read another 400 to 600 page book to find out what happens. I ain't got time for that. So those are all the reasons why I suck at book series. I really wish that I was better at starting series and staying invested in series, but it's a real struggle that I face every day and it really sucks. The thing is, I love book series and I am trash for book series. I just really suck at them. If you want to know why I love book series, let me know down below in the comments and I'll make that video as well. But also, let me know down below in the comments if you guys relate to this, if you also suck at book series. Please let me know that I am not alone. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, and if you want to see more bookish content from me, be be sure to go and hit subscribe, or go and click the little bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post a new video. As always, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, choo.